peace and love, everyone on this day. What's up, Ready Nation? What's going on? This is your girl Tamara T. Bush coming to you with yet another video. Now, I have covered this topic before on this channel, but I wanted to come in and do another video because I received a question in a private Facebook group, and I wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page and that everyone has the clarity needed in order to see if this applies to them in their specific situation, right? So today I am covering the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, which is 15 USC 6802. Currently have this pulled up on the Cornell Law website. You all know that this is my favorite place to go. So you know that any information that I give out on the channel is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a legal counsel. So definitely CYA, cover yourself, do your own due diligence when it comes to executing any of the information that you're being shown or taught. Just know that I'm here to provide clarity and just point you in the right direction of where to look, what to study, and how to use that information and make it make sense for your specific situation. I'm always honored to bring you all information that's going to help you. So yeah, we're going to get into it. So this is the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act again, coming out of 15 USC 6802. Now, part of the reason why I wanted to do this video is because of the question that I received. A young lady in the private Facebook group stated that she filed a complaint with the consumer reporting agencies in terms of her right to privacy. And so I did answer her question, and I stated that this particular code doesn't necessarily apply to the consumer reporting agencies because she said that she submitted a complaint and they ignored her. And I said, they probably ignored you because it doesn't apply to them, right? However, we are going to look at the code. We're going to look at the definition of financial institution so that we can figure out what type of companies fall within that category, right? Because at first glance, when we think of a financial institution, we automatically think of a bank. But there are so many businesses and organizations out there that are engaged in financial activities where this definition may apply to them, but we don't necessarily look at them as a financial institution because, you know, it's not an actual bank or it's not a credit union. But a lot of companies out there that we do business with every single day are classified as financial institutions, right? So we're going to look a little bit deeper into this definition today so that we can go ahead and get some clarity, right? All right, so let's get started. Okay, so A is notice requirements. Except as otherwise provided in this subchapter, the financial institution may not directly or through any affiliate disclose to a non-affiliated third party any non-public personal information unless such financial institution provides or has provided to the consumer a notice that complies with section 6803 of this title. Okay, so let's look at what it's saying a financial institution is. Okay, so it says in general, the term financial institution means any institution, the business of which is engaging in financial activity. So this is the key right here. Is this business engaged in financial activities? What does that mean? Okay, so financial activities as described in section 1843K of Title 12. Okay, so we're going to go to 12 USC 1843K, right? So I already have it pulled up because I was reading this yesterday. Okay, so this is letter K. Engaging in activities that are financial in nature. Okay, so it says, in general, notwithstanding subsection A financial holding company may engage in any activity and may acquire and retain the shares of any company engaged in any activity that the board, in accordance with paragraph 2, determines by regulation or order. A, to be financial in nature. or incidental to such financial activity, or is complementary to a financial activity and does not pose a substantial risk to the safety or soundness of depository institutions or the financial system generally. Okay, so let's look at a financial holding company. Okay, any bank holding company that meets the requirements of 1843(1) of this title. Okay. Retain the shares of any company. What is a company? Company means any corporation, partnership, business trust, association, or similar organization, right? So that expands the definition already. That already expands the definition of what we're looking for, right? Okay. So I wanted to look at this because it literally expands the definition of financial activity. So that's the whole point why we're looking at this, right? Okay. So now this section right here says activities that are financial in nature. For the purpose of this subsection, the following activities shall be considered to be financial in nature, because remember, the term financial institution means any institution, the business of which is to engage in financial activities. So we want to see what type of activities would be deemed as being financial in nature. Okay, lending, exchanging, transferring, investing for others, or safeguarding money or securities, insuring, guaranteeing, or indemnifying against loss, harm, damage, illness, disability, or death, or providing and issuing annuities and acting as principal agent or broker for the purpose of the foregoing in any state. Providing financial, investment, or economic advisory services, including advising an investment company. Okay. Issuing or selling instruments representing interest in pools of assets permissible for a bank to hold directly. Underwriting, dealing in, or making a market in securities. Right? Or engaging in any activity that the board has determined by order of regulation. Okay, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I wanted to look at this because I want us to sort of expand our minds in terms of how we look at who a financial institution is. It's not just going to be a bank that has, you know, the word bank in its name. Credit unions, those are obvious organizations that are considered financial institutions. So what are the non-obvious ones? What are some of the non-obvious ones, right? So I pulled up this other definition, and I want to give a shout out to, hold on, let me pull it up. I want to give a shout out because this person, Shahid, I want to give a shout out to Shahid Sankofa. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. But they dropped a comment on the previous video of, it says financial institutions list. So this is 31 USC 5312B, right? Drop the code right on in there. And I went back to my original video because I wanted to make sure that this video is just going to expound on that and not provide the same information. So this actually helped me out. So thank you so much to Shahid for dropping that jewel in the chat, giving me the financial institutions list. So I already have it pulled up, so we're going to get into this, right? So this is 31 USC 5312, definitions and application. All right, so we're going to scroll down and look at the definition of what a financial institution means. Now, this is the real fire right here. I'm going to just tell y'all, because it's going to cause you to look at everything differently. And so once you know what a true financial institution is, then you can exercise your rights in that regard based on the business that you're conducting outside of your regular everyday checking and savings accounts that you have with the bank or a credit union, right? Okay, so financial institution. Okay, let me go back here because it's literally breaking everything down. Okay, an insured bank. An insured bank as defined in Section 3H of the Federal Deposit Insurance Act. So that is the FDIC Act. I'm going to click on Well, that's the thing. Sometimes when you click, it doesn't necessarily take you to the code, right? Let's see, go right here. Okay, insured bank. The term insured bank means any bank, including a foreign bank having an insured branch, the deposits of which are insured in accordance with the provisions of this chapter. And the term non-insured bank means any bank, the deposits of which are not so insured. So I don't know if you all remember me mentioning this in one of my previous videos, that every time that we go to enter into a consumer credit transaction, that company is actually offering us an insurance policy to insure us, right? I went over this before. They're actually making an offer, right? So anytime that you go to a website and you see an offer for credit, that is an offer to insure you. So this just, confirms that these banks are required to have insurance. They're required to have insurance, right? Insured bank. That's what the definition says, right? Okay. So an insured bank as defined. Okay, what else is it saying? A commercial bank or a trust company. Okay. A private banker. And I need to pull something up off to the side and I'll pull it over in just a private banker. An agency or branch of a foreign bank in the United States. Any credit union. A thrift institution. Wait, hold on a second. What is a thrift institution? What's a thrift institution? Okay, we're gonna look this up. A thrift institution. Legal definition. Give me. Okay, so it's pretty much saying a savings bank or a savings and loans association organized. Okay, thrift institution. So let's look at the code, 12 USC 1841. And of course, it doesn't take you anywhere. Oh, I hate when it does that. Ooh. All right, let's go back. Okay. And I just saw, okay, thrift institution, a depository financial institution intended to encourage personal savings and home buying. Okay, I'm good with that. Thrift institution, a broker or dealer registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission under the Securities Exchange Act of 1934. A broker or dealer in securities or commodities. An investment banker or investment company. A currency exchange or a business engaged in the exchange of currency funds or value that substitutes for currency of funds. An issuer, redeemer, or cashier of traveler's checks, money orders, or similar. Okay, so wouldn't this be the check cashing place that's around the way? That's the check cashing place all day long, right? An operator of a credit card system. An insurance company. Okay, so Progressive, Geico. Yeah, they're considered financial institutions. A dealer in precious metals, stones, or jewels. Ain't that the pawn shop? Oh, it says a pawnbroker. Oh, so a pawnbroker is a financial institution. Go figure. A loan or finance company. Okay. A travel agency. What? A travel agency, y'all. It says a travel agency. Would you have a thought? Okay. a licensed sender of money. Wait, hold on a second. Western Union, Walmart, Zelle, PayPal, Stripe, Square, all of these companies, all of these organizations are considered financial institutions. Or any other person who engages as a business in the transmission of currency, funds, or value that substitutes for currency, or value that substitutes for currency. Okay. So let's think about this for a second. Would a consumer reporting agency, they hold values, don't they? They hold your source data. They hold value. That substitute for currency. They buy and sell your data every day, all day. Every day, all day. But we're going to delve a little bit deeper into that, because this right here is not enough for me that says that a consumer reporting agency is a financial institution. I need more. Okay. Including any person who engages as a business in an informal money transfer system, or any network of people who engage as a business in facilitating the transfer of money domestically or internationally outside of the conventional financial institution systems. Okay, so Cash App. Yeah, all of these companies. A telegraph company. Hold on a second. Okay, so a telegraph company. Let's look that one up. We need the legal definition of telegraph company. Yes. 47 USC 153. Let's look at this one. A telegraph company. Let's see. All right, so where's the definition at, right? Oh, you're in here. Where are you at? You hiding from me. You're hiding from me. Y'all know where I'm going with this, right? Where is it at? Show it to me. Show it to me. Wait, hold on. Let me go back. A telegraph company. It took me to Advanced Communication Services now. Look at this. Will somebody look at this? Y'all see AT&T up in there? Y'all remember Bell South? I know y'all remember Bell South. Yep, that's who all these people is. All right, but hold on. We're going to see if they have a telegraph company in here, because they're talking about phones and they're talking about broadcasting, right? Cable. Come on. Where my definition at? Where is my definition? Construction permit. Come on, where's my telegraph? Give me my telegraph definition. I know you're in here somewhere. You in there somewhere. Telegraph, where are you? Interstate communication. See, when I look at all of this, all of these things that I'm looking at, I would be considering these to be telegraph companies. Telegraph companies. Radio station, radio telegraph auto alarm. I'm telling y'all, we got to start looking deeper into this stuff. This is all coming from the definition of a financial institution. Look at all of this. This is a lot. So basically, you're telling me that the phone companies, the cable companies are financial institutions. That's what this is telling me. All of these communications companies are financial institutions. So wouldn't that be Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T, Metro PCS? They would all be considered financial institutions. It said Telegraph. Okay, so let's go to this one because this is Telegraph Corporation defined. Okay, so let's look at this one. The term Telegraph Corporation, make this a little bit bigger. Telegraph Corporation, when used in this subtitle, includes every corporation, company, association, joint stock company, or association, partnership, in person, their lessees, trustees, receivers, appointed by any court whatsoever, owning, operating, controlling, or managing any plant, wires, poles, or property for the purposes of communication, or of transmitting or receiving messages by telegraph or by any telegraph apparatus or instrument or any telegraph line or part of telegraph line used in the conduct of business of affording for hire communication by telegraph, or which licenses, lets, or permits telegraph communication for hire. Okay, so this part right here, owning, operating, controlling, or managing any plants, wires, or poles. Isn't that the electric company? Ain't that the electric company? Y'all tell me. Would you agree that that would be considered in the electric company for the purposes of communicating? Man, come on. All right, let's see what else we got. Telegraph legal definition: a mode of electronic communication whereby matter typed into the sending terminal is printed out of the receiving terminal. Okay. Okay, I'm convinced. All of these companies are considered financial institutions. A business engaged in vehicle sales. There it is right there. That's your dealership, your car dealerships. A business engaged in vehicle sales, including automobile, airplane, and boat sales. Persons involved in real estate closings and settlements. Okay, so what's the definition of persons? Because persons, in addition to its meaning under Section 1 of Title I, includes a trustee, a representative of an estate, and when the secretary prescribes, a governmental entity. Okay, so who's involved in real estate closings and settlements? That's the title company, that's the attorney, right? The attorney that's representing the bank, not the attorney that's representing you, because typically people go to closings without attorneys, right? Y'all better come on. Y'all better come on through. The United States Postal Service is considered a financial institution. I've known for years that the USPS was a bank. I already knew that. This just validates what I already knew. Financial institutions. That's the post office. Come on. An agency of the United States government or of a state or local government carrying out a duty or power of business described in this paragraph. Okay. A casino, gambling casino or gaming establishment with an annual gaming revenue of $1 million or more, which, okay. Any business or agency which engages in any activity which the Secretary of the Treasury determines by regulation to be an activity which is similar to, related to, or a substitute for any activity in which any business described in this paragraph is authorized to engage, or any other business designated by the Secretary whose cash transactions have a high degree of usefulness in criminal, tax, or regulatory matters. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So you see how sometimes we just have to go and read and look at the definitions, because it's literally giving you everything. If it further defines the definition of a financial institution, it gives you a broader sense of who you're dealing with when you're out here, conducting business, right? So let me scroll back, because there was something that I saw that I wanted to look up. Let me see if I can go back and find it. Let's see, I think it was, let me see. Right. And so, when I'm looking at this whole thing as well, I also would throw the IRS into this definition too. I would definitely throw the IRS in this definition. I would throw the courts into this definition of a financial institution, right? Definitely would throw the courts in there. All right. It says bailee, depository trustee or agent, or acting in a similar way related to money, credit, securities, gold, a transaction in money, credit, securities, or gold, or a service provided with respect to money, securities, futures, precious metal stones, all that good stuff. Right? That's a financial agency. So we said earlier that it says something about storing value. Let me look this one thing up real quick. So in terms of the CRA, how can we show that they're financial institutions? Because they're holding value. So let's see. There's definitely some case law out there. Oh no. I think this is the case law right here. Let me see. Let me find it real quick. Someone sent me this case law before. All right, so let's look at this one, because this is TransUnion LLC versus the FTC. Trying to see if I can see a date. Okay, so this was published July 16th of 2002. All right, so we're going to look at this and see what it says. We won't read the whole thing. It's just certain key points I'm looking for, right? Wait, so what's the basis of the lawsuit? Let's see. All right. TransUnion LLC, a credit reporting agency, CRA, under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, challenges regulations promulgated by the FTC and other federal agencies to implement the privacy provisions of the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act. TransUnion contends The regulations unlawfully restrict the CRA's ability to disclose and reuse certain consumer information because a CRA is not a financial institution subject to the FTC's rulemaking authority under the GLBA. The regulations definition of the statutory term personally identifiable financial information is overbroad. The regulations restrictions on reuse of information are inconsistent with the Gramm-Leach-Bailey Act. And number 4, the challenge regulations infringe TransUnion's right of free speech. I'm sorry, y'all. So sorry. You all, oh Lord, ooh, woo, woo. They said free speech. I'm done. I'm so done. Okay, let me get back. Free speech under the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. The district court rejected these challenges and upheld the regulations for the reasons set out below. We affirm the district court's decision. Okay, so let's see. This is so juicy, y'all. The FC, let me make this a little bit bigger. Y'all know my brain, I wear glasses, so okay. The FCRA defines a CRA as any person which for monetary fees, dues, or on a cooperative nonprofit basis regularly engages in whole or in part in the practice of assembling or evaluating consumer credit information or other information on consumers for the purpose of furnishing consumer reports to third parties, and which uses any means or facility of interstate commerce for the purpose of preparing or furnishing consumer reports. Okay. The party agrees that the TransUnion comes within this definition. Okay. The other federal agencies sued in this action are the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, the Office of Thrift Supervision. We literally just looked up what a thrift organization was, right? The FDIC and the National Credit Union Administration. This opinion, okay, so this is what it's talking about, right? Okay, so what does it say? Congress enacted the Gramm-Leach-Bailey Act in order to enhance competition enhance competition in the financial services industry by eliminating many federal and state law barriers to affiliations among banks. Now, let me go back because here's the issue that I've been having, right, with the Gramm-Leach-Bailey Act, because I mean it's not an issue per se with the act, but the problem that I have with financial institutions sharing the information is that a lot of them are sharing information to non-affiliated third parties, right? Now, an affiliate, the term affiliate means any company that controls or is controlled by or is under common control with another company. And so the way that I interpret that is if I'm doing business with the bank and the bank has hired certain vendors in order to ensure the course of its normal business, so regular BAU, right? If I'm doing business with the bank and they're using a vendor to generate my statements every month, okay, that's an affiliated third party. Or if I'm doing business with an organization that has a credit card company that's processing my payments, that is an affiliated third party. I look at an affiliation as any organization that is working to ensure that those services are delivered to that client seamlessly, right? That's what I would interpret as being an affiliated party. A non-affiliated third party is any entity that is not an affiliate of. So TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian are not affiliates of any financial institutions. They're not affiliates of these companies. So you're reporting my information to a non-affiliated third party without my permission. That's the whole issue that I'm having with this right to privacy thing, right? Because they do it all the time. But they don't give you the forms that they're supposed to give you for you to exercise your option to opt out from consumer credit reporting prior to that information being reported. This is a very important point to know and understand. We have to discern the difference between an affiliate and a non-affiliated third party, right? That for me is the whole issue, right? Because it says that they may not directly or through any affiliate disclose to a non-affiliated third party any non-public personal information unless such financial institution provides or has provided to the consumer a notice. Just give me my notice and give me the option to opt out, because you know that you're going to share my information with a non-affiliated third party. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back. Let me go back. All right. All right, so to enhance competition in financial services industry by eliminating many federal and state law barriers to affiliations among banks and securities firms, insurance corporations, and other financial service providers, right? All right, so let me scroll down a little bit. Title V of the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act contains a number of provisions designed to protect the privacy of non-public personal information that consumers provide to financial institutions, reflecting the policy of Congress that each financial institution has an affirmative and continuing obligation to respect the privacy of its customers and to protect the security and confidentiality of those customers' non-public personal information. The Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act restricts the ability of a financial institution to disclose NPI to a non-affiliated third party by requiring that the financial institution provide the consumer with a notice of the institution's disclosure policies and the opportunity for the customer to opt out of the disclosure. The Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act further mandates that an unaffiliated third party recipient of NPI shall not directly or through an affiliate of such receiving third party disclose such information to any other person that is a non-affiliated third party of both the financial institution and such receiving third party unless such disclosure will be lawful if made directly to such other persons. The implement of its disclosure restrictions, the GLBA gives the FTC and other agencies broad rulemaking authority. Okay. Let me scroll down because I need to see the decision. Let's see. Let's see. Section 6805 further provides for enforcement of both the GLBA and the regulations promulgated pursuant thereto by the federal functional regulators, the state insurance authorities, and the Federal Trade Commission with respect to financial institutions and other persons subject to their jurisdiction under applicable law. First 6 paragraphs of Section 6805 specify under what authority and by which agencies the GLBA and the regulators are to be enforced against the banks, savings associations, commercial lending companies, credit unions, securities brokers, blah, blah, blah. All right, the final catch-all paragraph of 6805 mandates enforcement under the Federal Trade Commissions Act by the Federal Trade Commission for any other financial institution or other person that is not subject to the jurisdiction of any agency or authority. CRAs are not among the entities identified in the first 6 paragraphs. On May 24, 2000, the FTC published its final rule on the privacy of consumer financial information, setting forth regulations comparable and consistent with those by other federal agencies. Transunion filed an action in district court challenging the FTC's regulations on the grounds that, number one, a CRA is not a financial institution subject to the FTC's rulemaking authority. The FTC overbroadly defined PIFI, which is personally identifying financial information. The regulations restrictions on reuse of consumer information are inconsistent with the GLBA. And number 4, the regulations violate the TransUnion First Amendment free rights of speech. Right? They filed an appeal. We hereafter expressly address only the regulations adopted by the FTC because it is the agency with jurisdiction over the CRAs and thus with authority to enforce the GLBA and regulations promulgated thereunder. All right, so I need to get to this. I need to get to the decision. Okay, so the court reviewed it. Authority to regulate. First, TransUnion asserts that the FTC lacks authority over them, right? Because the CRA is not a financial institution. They keep saying this over and over. We're going to get to it, y'all. We're going to find it. Section 6809 of Title 15 defines a financial institution as any institution, the business of which, okay, that's the definition that we read earlier, right? We were in 1843K. Yep, went over all that. We reading this together. I'm telling y'all, we're gonna get down to the bottom of this because this is important in knowing how to assert yourself against these credit reporting agencies. So I'm going to read for y'all because a lot of the times, you know, people may not necessarily have the time to go and read this. So I want to skim through this so we can get to the fact of the matter. We're gonna get to the fact of the matter. On February 28, 1997, the Federal Reserve Board promulgated a regulation still in effect, which expressly identifies as among activities so closely related to banking or managing or controlling banks as to be a proper incident thereto those activities that are usual in connection with making, acquiring, or brokering or servicing loans or other extensions of credit. So basically, they're saying, yeah, you are a financial institution. So it says credit bureau services, maintaining information related to the credit history of consumers and providing the information to a credit grantor who is considering a borrower's application for credit or who has extended credit to the borrower. Bank holding companies and change and bank control. Okay, so let's see, because the Federal Reserve Board, Hold on, y'all. We getting there. Okay, because the Federal Reserve Board's regulation characterizes credit bureau services as so closely related to banking or managing or controlling banks as to be a proper incident thereto, we conclude that the FTC permissibly determined that TransUnion, which provides such services, comes within the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act of a financial institution and is therefore subject to its rulemaking authority under 15 U.S.C. 6804. Come on, y'all. I just gave it to you right here. What does it say? Come on. It says it right there. Y'all better go and get this case law and use this. Y'all better use this joker to your advantage. It says it right there. TransUnion falls within the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act's definition of a financial institution, baby. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. TransUnion also contends that the FTC is precluded from regulating the CRA's disclosure of consumer reports by virtue of the GLBA savings clause. Let's see. Man, come on. Let's see where else does it go? Because it's still going. I'm still scrolling. We skimming through the case because we're gonna get to the fact of the matter, but you already saw what it said. You already saw what it said up top. You saw what it said. Come on. That's it right there. But this is still going. That's not the end of it. So we're gonna keep going all the way down to the bottom. TransUnion reasons that because the FCRA authorizes the CRA to furnish consumer reports, that the FTC may not place restrictions on the CRA disclosures of credit report information. FCRA, however, expressly limits a CRA's authority to furnish reports to specific enumerated types of information and to specific enumerated circumstances and no other. Thus, the savings clause does not prevent the FTC from restricting the CRA's disclosure either of unenumerated types of information or under unenumerated circumstances. All right, definition of personally identifying financial information. Now, this is very important right here, right? Because your personally identifiable financial information, that's your private information, right? Now, when I think of PIFI, which is what this is right here, I'm thinking of any information that you provide to obtain an extension of credit. And it takes me back to the definition of a credit card, right? So it says TransUnion challenges the FTC's definition of PIFI. Both the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act and the regulations define MPI in the terms of PIFI. The Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act does not define PIFI, but the FTC regulations define the term to mean personally identifiable information provided by a consumer to a financial institution, resulting from any transaction with the consumer or any service performed for the consumer. All right, so let's keep going. Any list, description, or other grouping of consumers and publicly available information pertaining to them that is derived using any personally identifiable information. Any information a consumer provides to you, the financial institution, to obtain a financial product or service from you. Right? Okay, so this is going to a broader definition of PIFI. Yep. Information a consumer provides to you on an application to obtain a loan. What did I say? Credit card, account balance information, payment history, overdraft history, the fact that an individual is or has been one of your customers or has obtained financial product or service from you. Now, this is the thing. We sign up for credit monitoring all the time, right? I would consider that a financial product or service because in order for you to obtain an extension of credit, you need that product or service to monitor your credit score. I don't know. That's just me. Any information about your consumer, if it is disclosed in a manner that indicates that the individual is or has been your customer. All right, so this is just further giving that definition, right? All right, so let's see. So this is talking about how TransUnion disagrees with the FTC's definition of personally identifiable financial information. We're getting there. I don't want to miss anything. That's the thing. I don't want to miss anything. The Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act is silent on the meaning of PIFI, and as is apparent from the parties' differing positions and from our discussions of the term's meaning, the term itself is not without ambiguity. Yep, they keep challenging. They keep challenging. The FTC explains that its approach is consistent with the broad definition of financial institution used in the statute, which encompasses not only traditional financial activities such as banks, mortgage lenders, financial companies, but also a large number of entities that engage in activities not traditionally considered financial, such as financial career counselors, insurance companies, and data processors. Yeah, TransUnion is definitely a data processor. All right, they objected. Come on, give me the juice, give me the juice. Give me the juice. FTC has interpreted the language other than to a consumer reporting agency. All right, so let's see. We find FTC's interpretation is both plausible and consistent with the plain intent of Section 6802. Now, anytime you see 6802, you know that's the actual code. It's 15 USC 6802. That's the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act, right? This is just some garbage right here. How in the world? That's why I laughed earlier, because how are you talking to me about free speech when you literally out here stealing people's identity and reporting information? You literally created a profile that's supposed to reflect the person without their permission. Like, I don't get it. So why are you talking to me about free speech? These people is out of control, completely out of control. All right, we're almost down to the bottom. So they're talking about the free speech. They keep saying that the assertions are overbroad. Yes, 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 yada, 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 right? The only alternative Transunion suggests allowing CRAs to use a notice and opt-out mechanism as other financial institutions do is not significantly narrower than the regulation's present restrictions, under which a consumer is already provided notice and opportunity to opt out by the financial institution with which he conducts the transaction in the first instance. There is no reason to believe a consumer will be more eager to relinquish his privacy right to a CRA that subsequently contains or obtains his MPI than he was to the financial institution with which he initially dealt. The foregoing reasons, the decision of the district court is affirmed. There it is right there. It says the decision of the district court is affirmed. So hold on a second. Let me go back. I need to read it with my own eyes. As we noted in the rehearing in Transunion, regulations such as these, which directly at their intended target have neither indirect or unintended effects on speech, and therefore sweep only as broadly as necessary to accomplish their goal, protecting the privacy of personal financial information. Transunion has not proposed any specific means by which the government could achieve its interests in a manner that does not restrict speech or that restricts less speech. The only alternative Transunion suggests allowing CRAs to use a notice and opt-out mechanism. Why did it just state the same thing twice? There is no reason to believe a consumer will be more eagerly. All right, so let me go to the summaries. Go to the summaries, or maybe case details. Back to summaries. Considering okay, so let's click on the first one and see what it says. So this took me back to the whole opinion. But when I read it earlier, it specifically said what it said, that they deemed Transunion to be a financial institution. I know what I saw. I know what I saw. So listen. Listen. I'm telling y'all got to go and read this, run with that information. To be honest with you, I would treat them like a financial institution. And, you know, to the young lady that answered the question, go back to this case law. If you want to follow up with them, I will definitely send them another letter citing this case law and see what they say. I would definitely cite that case law. And so let me go back so you can see what it was. If it takes me all the way. Right, so this was Transunion LLC versus the FTC. Let's see. Yeah, this was the one right here, right? Yep, that was the one. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I would definitely use it. I would definitely use it, right? So that's all stemming from a definition of a financial institution. Now, a financial institution may not disclose non-public personal information to a non-affiliated third party unless such financial institution clearly and conspicuously discloses to the consumer in writing or in electronic form. Now, part of the issue is that they give us a lot of information in electronic form. Anytime that you sign anything electronically, definitely ask for them to mail you a paper copy. But when you're entering into a consumer credit transaction, right, definitely ask for those forms up front. If they fall within the definition of how the law defines a financial institution, it should be giving you that information up front, right? Because it says the consumer is given the opportunity before the time that such information is initially disclosed. It says before, to direct that such information not be disclosed. It says beforehand. The consumer is given an explanation of how the consumer can exercise their non-disclosure option. Exceptions. This subsection shall not prevent a financial institution from providing non-public personal information to a non-affiliated third party to perform services or for the functions on behalf of the financial institution, including marketing of the financial institution's own product or services, or financial products or services offered pursuant to joint agreements between two or more financial institutions that comply with the requirements imposed by the regulations prescribed, right? If the financial institution fully discloses the providing of such information, it enters into a contractual agreement with the third party that requires the third party to maintain confidentiality of such information. But, you know, we all know that the consumer reporting agencies are not maintaining any such confidentiality, right? Because technically they're only supposed to share your consumer credit report with your permission. So when you go to apply for an extension of credit, they're supposed to get your permission before they furnish that consumer credit report to that person asking for the information, right? So yeah, I just wanted to go over that. I hope that this information was useful. Y'all are going to want to go back and read this. You're definitely going to want to go back and relook at this definition of what a financial institution is. The definition is very broad. There's a lot of organizations out there that are classified as financial institutions. So now we know what we're looking at and who we're looking for that fits this definition, right? Remember the telegraph company, all of these people are considered financial institutions, and they have no right to report information on your consumer report without your permission. Yeah. Yep. So definitely like, share, and comment down below. What are your thoughts on this information? Send this video out to anyone that you believe will benefit from this information. Like I said before, I'm definitely honored and humbled to be able to bring this information to you. I wanted to go over this because of the young lady's question in a private Facebook group, just so that we're clear, because sometimes if we just go and read the code, it is going to definitely give us more clarity so that we can have more ammunition in our tool belt that we can use to fight against, unfair and deceptive business practices, right? So that's what this is all about, right? So yeah, and I'm telling y'all, listen, if y'all are not in the Facebook group yet, y'all definitely want to get in there. Is litty, is lit, and we only 2 weeks in. We only 2 weeks in. So y'all, I'll drop the link down in the description of this video, along with the resources for the codes that we just covered, and in addition to that, the link for the case for Transunion, so you all can go back and just sort of read that on your own. I definitely would like to see people come back with their interpretation of that decision for Transunion, because look, we got to work together on this. I don't want y'all to just take my interpretation. This needs to be a meeting of the minds, right? Go read the code, come back, leave a comment, let me know what your thoughts are on that code. We need all of the ammunition possible so that we can go ahead and fight this fight, right? Because we are in a paper war. I said that before. All right. So this is your girl Tamara T. Bush. I hope that this information was useful for you. I love you guys. Thank you so much for engaging. I appreciate and love you all so much. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love. Peace and love. Peace and love.